Hi. To me, it's good morning, but I'm just going to say I have a hard time doing that, I guess, because I already said I was going to do that. Good day, mate. Happy morrow, whatever time it gets to you. Hopefully, you're having whatever is good for you. Something good, whether it be just peace and tranquility. Before I get any further, this is Lou. Today is, gee willikers, it can't be already. I didn't look up the date. Okay, bad Mary Lou. Okay, it's Thursday. It's already Thursday. And it's the 15th of May. So the month is half over. Won't be long. I mean, really, anybody's life. It won't be long. That's weird. How come that looks different on each end? You know, a long time ago, I do remember, I believe it was Linda, that said, show that again. And it was just such a simple little thing. So it can't really be that she wanted me to do that. But you know what? Just now, I was about to do that, and I figured out something just so simple. I mean, it's still the same thing. It'll still end up being the very same thing, but I cut off half of the problem. Not a problem. I'm always such a literal person. Half of the distance. Okay, I'm talking about folding a bandana. You know, you got your square piece of material, or it's pretty much square. That's probably why. One end, this looks like the end of a tie, and the other end, it looks totally different. And it should look the same. Anyway, I am no expert. I just had remembered that she said that. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just do that because I've got these clean bandana I wanted to get ready for. Because what I have is I have a gallon-sized baggie that's got a few of these bandanas already folded and to the right tight, and it's got a square knot and it's perfect so that when I do need it, I don't got to figure that out. I can just put it on. And I did used to wear a bandana all the time, didn't I? And I will just say that I'm very lucky. I have not had, knock on wood, oh, don't do that. I was going to say, I have not had headaches. Once in a while I've had a headache, but it's not like what I was having. And that was blood pressure, I imagine. However, I don't understand what's in this little pill that makes it go down. The cholesterol one, I don't know how I feel about that because if it's stripping fat, this is what I was told a long time ago. It's taking fat out of your brain. It's taking fat from everywhere, okay? And your brain is mostly fat. You need it. Be a fathead. Seems like I remember maybe in my dad's mouth the words fathead. Anyway, okay, so I've got both hands. So I don't know. I'll just show you the end into the other end. Not that that's important, but it's weird. Because they should be the same. So I don't know if tying the knot's going to be the same. I like it the same on both sides, and I make it so that it's a square knot which will lay down flat and not be an irritant. And I put the square knot back here, right underneath that, whatever that is. There's like a point on the back. Did you see that? Did you see that cat go by? Just jumped right up here and went on by and got in the windowsill. Little girl. Her name is Bitsy because she is a little girl. All right, so it seemed kind of stupid to show you that, but I will anyway. Okay, can you tell how this is ended? Right, I like that. But on the other side, it ended like that. With the way that I folded it. But it really shouldn't make a difference. I know. Wasting time. So which side is which? Anyway, I really like that one side. I want them to look the same. But they might fold okay. So what I did was I took the, I guess I could do it again. This one has got some sun damage, this bandana. I'll go ahead and take it apart. I mean, that's really what I should make. I should learn how to make some do-rags. Because there's a way. I mean, I used to wear a bandana around my hair all the time. I mean, like a scarf. I liked the way it looked. I don't think you see anybody doing that these days. I might start a trend. Okay, so anyway, I have taken the bandana, and on one side, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to change it, probably. On one side it's square, it's flush, okay? But then you go to the other side. Where's it at? And it's not square and flush, okay? So this is what's making the difference. And I'm not sure if that's the prettier side or not. Anyway, what I was just talking about was wearing it like that. But you want it to lay flat. You'd want it to not creep down. I would do that. I wanted it up. Bitsy. Little Bitsy move. She says, I'm going to get in the middle of this. Anyway, and try to pull my hair down a little bit. And then tie it. You have to have it just the right way. You need to go away, little girl. And I know with me touching it, that's not happening. A little girl. She says, I'm over here purring. All right, come on. Skedaddle, little girl. So anyway, if you fold it like this, maybe I can take it back out and fold it a little bit different, but I don't know. And then maybe you could also just cut it to make it a triangle. You know, to make it flush. I don't know that it matters. When you fold it up, it should not matter. Listen, you. If I don't watch it, she'll be kissed me. Come on, move. You're on my desk, little girl. Here, go back down to that pillow. There's a big old pillow. Or I can let you out too. That'll work. Here. There you go. Okay, so no, there's no way to really make both sides look the same. And I can't really show it to you unless I turn this camera way down. Probably could do that. So I've got this triangle up here. Okay. Pyramid. A pyramid. Okay, I'm going to fold it. See, before I took it and started it here and went around and around and around and around, and that works. But what I was just talking about was I took this and I folded it to the middle. So it made it a lot shorter distance. And I'm aiming, you could do it different. I was going to say, I'm aiming for this one spot but it's just not got a lot of prettiness going on. It's just plain. So I wonder if I folded it different. If I could get the busy side in front. I could. Okay. I'm just trying something different. Okay. The end result is I'm going to make this thing fit around my head. Okay, so there's that. Can you see what I'm doing at all? So I'm just folding it the little way. And I've taken this side over here and brought it in so that hopefully the end result is going to be this busy stuff. We'll see what happens. Wonder if that'll work. I don't know about that. Can you see how busy the material is though? Versus it would just be a little teeny bit of stuff. Little teeny, what are those things called? Well, these are like little flower beginnings, they're babies. They're baby plants. They got 2 leaves and a little bulb. How do I get that? Because if I do what I just did, it's not going to stay. It's not got something to hold it in place. It's going to stick out and be all weird. So I'm going to quit being complicated about it all. I'm going to still put some there with it. Nah. Really need to go all the way to the middle, but that makes a pretty design. This wouldn't be big enough. Nope, can't do it. Can't do it. So I wonder if I just cut it in half again. I have to figure out, and I know they probably already have them. I have to figure out this one thing that I want, because I want a combination, okay? I want the cap thing. I want it to stay in place, and I don't know how to do that. And I want the headgear that the women are wearing in the Chosen. I like that. Kind of. I don't like all of it, okay? I don't like the rolled thing at the end, so it's rolled all up. But I like the effect of covers the hair, and then pulls it back, but it looks beautiful and flowing, but also good for a bad hair day. Anyway, what are they called? Because I know they're selling them. I saw some on Temu. Basically, they look the same. But they're like a scarf that you tie around, and it's already, like I'm saying about my bandanas, they're already ready to go. You can just put them on. I don't know what it's called. It's like a bonnet with tails. Because it's like a bonnet around your hair, but yet and it has a scarf hanging down over your hair, really. Your hair just kind of hangs like mine is doing, but it has scarves. And I would have to look up one and then take a picture and put it in my post. Because I don't know how to say the right words. Today is Thursday already. It's like, wow. Craziness. That's just the way it is. Okay, so I have folded it in half. Unfolded that in half. I think I'll fold it one more time. Now let's see what it looks like on both ends. I ain't got nobody. I like cheap thrills. You know, you could make the right size and sew it together, and then you could do would have to leave in the tie-in of the knot up to you guys. It's an idea. But it is something I could do fast. So just fold it and fold it and then sew the edge so you don't unfold it anymore. You don't ever have to worry about refolding it again because it's already in place. And then you take these two ends and tie a square knot where it fits around your head. And then it's ready to go. Okay, now, when I would be tying the knot, see, I'm talking about sewing this edge together. And really, I don't know. It is, for the comfort of the headache deal, it is good to have the cushion. You're gonna tie this tight around your head. If you're just doing it, I don't know if it would be a fashion statement, but if you're just doing it because you like how it looks and your hair looks sucky that day, you know, like you could still put a bandana around it and help yourself not look so bad. That's a matter of opinion, I know. But, and I know I hear your voices. I hear my daughter's voice. I don't know what to do about the teeth situation, but I need to do something, I guess. And hopefully, I was supposed to go see the doctor yesterday, but I didn't have a way to get there. So I canceled it, and I have not rescheduled it yet. But she's the one that put me on the blood pressure medicine and the high cholesterol medicine and Jardiance, okay? We're hoping and praying that Jardiance is super wonderful, super califragilistic. because of all the symptoms I was having, and I was having weak legs. I'm not having it as bad, but I haven't really tried to go out on a walk. In other words, my legs won't let me go very far. Um, Sometimes it might be because I've indulged, because that's going through your blood. And it's like a tingling sensation. I don't know how to explain it. Nevertheless, okay, so if you're doing a bandana type situation, you see all the folds, but that's a good thing if you have headaches, so that it gives you a cushion. And then you just fold the edges. I think that's an excellent idea. See, if you just wanted the material, and not the cush, then, we could figure out a way to make it look the same, and it would take a lot less material. Like if you were going to make a bunch of them, and if you wanted to use different materials, Yeah, the inside looks pretty bad. I think that might be a good idea. But then the ones I want to make have a little bit more material. They're more like a cap. Like I was showing you how I used to wear the bandana, was just folded in half and then tied around my head. And it would eventually, it would hang down and it would show about this much of my hair. And then also it would show, because if you have long hair, it shows. It was a way to keep it away from your face while you're working. Also a way to hide bad hair day, because you could just pull it all back and have just a little bit hanging out. So I'm doing a nonsensical talking situation here. So what was the date? Did I tell you that? It's the 15th. The 15th of May. Okay, here's something that I used to do when I was young. When I was young, I would, I'm a little bit different than everybody else, okay? I would announce my birthday. My birthday is coming, and we're going to be celebrating at least a week before and a week after, because it was a very important day when I came to this earth. So my birthday's coming. The 28th. The 28th of May. In Earth years, I will turn 71. I don't know how the eternal years work, because I've read that time stops. When you leave this earth, time stops. Time is just relative to what's going on here on the earth. I don't know where I read it, and it's been a while since I read that. Who knows? Maybe you can find it in the Mormon Doctrine, because I've had that book for years too. And sometimes I did study. But I'm pretty sure I didn't have that book up on that mountain. I just was really into, I know from my own self, I know it was the New Testament. So anyway, I'm not really liking how I folded that. Let's see if I fold it a different way. I'm not going to like that either. Start with the middle of the scarf and start rolling it up about 1.5 inches. And you roll it up, and you roll it up, and you roll it up. Okay, well, let's see. That might work. Don't like all the edges hanging out. I'm a strange bird. I like things a certain way. Like the way I just folded it. It leaves this on the front, but see the edge? There's a whole lot of edges. That can they hang out, so they'd be very easily ripped. Not ripped, that's not the right word. You know, like when you have a braid, you got the hair pulled together, and then you have some kind of hanging out. Well, that's what it would seem like. Like this would be stuff that would hang out. But I like the design. So when you have it on your head, you know, it's not just the little flowers. There's one right there in the middle. That one right there. That might actually be right straight up and down. That's good. And see then the way that is. So I like I don't want to say busyness, but I like that there is a design there instead of just sparse little teeny plants. So instead, we'll have one plant right smack in the middle. I like that. And then what I could do is, like I said before, sew it into place, and then where those where it would snag on something and try to pull it apart and stuff, I could just sew that on each end, and then so that would still give you the cushion. I like that. I don't know about that. Okay. I'm jabbering. We will stop that. I just was thinking about the sewing. Okay. So we've got it where I wouldn't have to sew this until clear out here. But if you want it to be interchangeable, see, this side needs to be sewn, which will be sewn there, but then it needs to be sewn across, which is different than this one. Okay. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right, so then, okay, so I don't know what Linda was talking about me showing, but I've got this bandana folded like I like. So now what I've got to do, and I don't know how to, once upon a time I was macrameing, and a square knot was your basic knot. And so I have to try to go on automatic mode and do that. Because I don't want the other kind of knot. In other words, you just tie a knot and then it's a twisted knot. Well, that's an irritant to my head, to my, and I put this knot right underneath that point on the back of feel the back of your skull. And down here, there's a lump. Right under that, like a little shelf there or something, right under that's where I put the square knot. But to tie it the first time, you got all this hair, So you take it and you put it where it's going to be, and then you try to put, oh, I got hair in there. Okay, you try to meet it and have it be the same. And then let's see, how would I do it? I'm not sure. I just have to guess and hope that it works. Okay. So I'm going to take this and go down through there. I need to keep my hair out of the way. I really don't know which way I went. Okay, people. So I'm making sure basically that it's the same. Now, let's see if I did that. I'm not sure how I did it. Okay, so if I, seems like this would be the square, but I don't know if it'll work. Let's see, fold it over, go under and through. I think I'm complicating it. Okay, let me see. Okay, that might be it. Okay. All right, so what I was trying to get was a square knot, and I believe I did. This thing here, but I'm not positive because of the way this is coming out. But it looks like a square knot to me. So for this right here, I'm not sure if it should be there. Nevertheless, the point is, will that knot lay flat and not hurt your head? And then if you've got it at the right strength, because you want it to be tight, and you pull this tight. And the reason for doing it here, which should be obvious, I didn't get them the same. Look at that. Am I going to worry about it? Let me see. I don't want to worry about it. But optimum what I would like is for these to be the same. And I might also take it off and find out that that's not a square knot, because I don't have my glasses on, can't see that good. It seems like this should come out different. But really, I would just be satisfied if it was the same size. All right, so then we take that off. And we come and we decide, okay, yeah, that's how I want it. Okay, but I've got it upside down. It's going to be upside down. In other words, let's see. It looks like a square knot. Yes, I could fiddle with it and make it the right size. And I think, that's terrible. I don't know for a fact that that's a square knot, but I think it is. Okay, I'll show you up close and personal here. See, with all the different lines, it's kind of an illusion. But what I was talking about is back this doesn't seem like it should come out of the middle of that. Like this is down underneath. But maybe that's the way it should be, because it should have a thing that goes across right here. And it feels flat, so we're going to go with that. I just don't want to mess with it so far. I don't like that. What's the word? Persnickety. I'm a little bit on the persnickety side. I like things just so. And if I pulled that through there, okay, I'm just going to try something. I got them both the same, but I got a feeling that I made it too loose for my head. And it's still got the knot, the way I have to do the knot. So I want it to go down. See the little things go down? Well, if I do it that way, my little plant, this little plant's going to be upside down, but maybe no one will notice. Because I want the little wings, how they're facing down already, I want them to go down. But really, they should go this way. So what the heck? I could retie my knot, I guess. It's such a pain in the butt. Anyway, I'll just put it on like that. And it's not. Okay, let's see. So I try to put that knot right smack in the middle. And I've got plenty of room to tighten this, okay? This would be more like what I was calling it before. I was calling it a brain cozy. For some reason it does. Having the cush around your head, it is comforting to the brain for some reason. You know, when you have those headaches. So what I normally did with the bandana, which I would do with this, if I'm going to try to get rid of a headache, I would tie this tighter. Because see what I did is I made the little flaps the same, but it loosened. It's not as tight as it needs to be. Loosened it. But still, you could pull it up, just, you know, if you don't want your hair hanging down. Or maybe you can pull it up and make your hair hang down. But I don't know what those bonnet things are. I know that I love them. Put something around your hair to keep it out of your face. Especially when you're working. Once upon a time, I've stripped kitchen cupboards. Gave myself pneumonia. I found out later. I figured that out. Thought I was going to die. I thought I had cancer. The doctor thought I had cancer, and I said, what about my options, man? So they took another x-ray. I mean, the x-ray of my chest was almost completely white. There was this little area on one of my lungs that was clear. Okay, I said that wrong. It was black. When you looked at it, it was black. And I thought maybe that was the bad spot. Nope. Okay, this needs tweaking, and if I was going to wear it like that, then it needs to be sewn too. So now I have given myself something to sew. My daughter's got a sewing machine, but we don't know if it works. Last I was here, I used it and it worked. But I don't know if something happens when things sit around. You know, when you have them a while, maybe the oil gunks up or different things. Different machines have a problem with tension. And then the newer machines, you don't have to worry about tension. That's what I need. I need to be able to have a die-hard machine that does not have problems, that will go and sew over chiffon or leather. Layers of leather. You know, because when you sew things together, you've got at least 2 layers And then if you were going to actually do that second seam holding something together, then that's 1, 2, 3 layers of thick material. But the whole point is, with each different weight of material, how thick it is, because chiffon is real light, okay. You got to adjust some feet. There's some feet that dig in and pull it as it's sewing. And yet you have a pressure foot, but underneath there's these, they look like cutting edges, okay. Maybe not to everybody. Nevertheless, okay, so I got this song going on in my head, and I don't know what one it is. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, so not every day, but I should. I've been doing a little bit of Zumba with Natasha. And so the song that plays while we do our walking or whatever it is we're doing, because we walk, but then we don't. Okay, you pull your leg up and you're moving everything around to this music, and so that music is what's playing in my head. You just would have to go listen to it. It is what she uses when she's doing Zumba. I'm thinking she's Indian, from India. I don't know for a fact. All I know is she did, things can be photoshopped, but it looks like she used to weigh quite a bit. And that does happen when you have babies. It happens. That you get big. And sometimes quitting smoking even can do that. I think I started on that the other day. I was talking about, I think, the smoking stunts your growth. That's what I was going to say. Thank. So that song is in my head, and so I'm supposed to be moving. I have been doing a little bit, but I can't go very far. So now I'm going to sneeze. My goodness, that's not cool. Sneezing is not a good sign. I could have gotten something right up my nose, or I got a cold chill. I'm getting sick. That's not bad. I hope it says 0 sugar, so I hope so. I still should look at what the carbohydrates are. Oh, I gotta call these people. I called yesterday trying to get my appointment changed because I might not have a ride. And so now I'm not sure how they've got me set up. I need to make sure it's the same as it was. So I need to remember to call them. Again, I stayed on hold forever and a day before I got somebody. So she was trying to change my appointment. But in the meantime, I'm not sure if she got rid of the original one. The original one was set up really good, and they were all on the same day. And that was the deal. I was trying to get it just moved just like it was to a different day if possible. But the problem is, it almost looks like they've got me set for an extra day to get that scan done. So I've got to call and find out. Because I got a bunch of text and then they didn't all jive. It looked like they... So I was trying to, because the appointments were on Friday, and my grandson works in the restaurant area there. Friday's a big deal. So I can't be dipping into his schedule too much on that day. And Mondays he's off. So I was trying to get it all changed over to the following Monday. But I got a feeling they've got my one scheduled for that Monday. So I definitely do need to call them. Stay on hold another who knows how long. I need to figure out the right number to call so I can just be talked to early. Sometimes if you don't push the right button, it takes forever. And sometimes if you do push the right button, it takes forever. It just depends on what you want. I just want to make sure all my appointments are on the same day, because otherwise that's a whole extra day. And I've got a bunch of appointments next month. So one being, the reason is I'm going to be having these tests done. And so my doctor wants to see me after seeing the results of the test. But she's going to be gone on vacation the week that I'm supposed to see her. So I have an extra visit. So I'll have a visit the first part of June. And then I'll have those scans done. Then I'll see her on the 26th. Then I'll have another appointment on the first part of July, I guess. Wow. I swear time is just going away, man. I can't be having appointments like that. But maybe it'll be something great. I hope it is something great. Like they don't understand what they see, and they're just making sure. But that is what she said, that they felt like the scan would show more of what's going on in there. But yeah, I do need to talk to him. I need to talk to him about they have me down as not being a diabetic too, and I am. All right, so I just wrote that word down so I'll remember. But I need to call and talk to those people when I get done. Try to do something good and screwed up everything, because we don't need to be having extra appointments. Yes, I do need my car. Just need to get on a plane and take it. Ask God to be with me, keep me awake. But see, the problem is you can be awake and hypnotized. You can be looking like you're awake, your eyes are open, but you're looking in your head at something else, and you have forgotten about the road. On long drives, that can happen. On short drives, if you've got something really on your mind, you can be in trouble. I had that happen. I'd be watching what's going on in my head and not the road. So I'm kind of stuck. And also, I'm sure she's not watching, but I mean, I joined Indeed, and as far as they know, I'm still living up there where Nancy is. And so Indeed's been sending me job referrals in her area. One of them would have been really wonderful, but I haven't answered them, and I haven't shut it down. And if I transfer it to here, then I've got to have a car. I have to have a car to get where I'm going. Right now, I've got a car sitting in front of Nancy's house, loaded with my stuff. waiting for me to just get in it and drive it away. I don't know. The I don't know if it's the same person or not, but there's somebody saying, "Are you still interested in shipping your car?" You know, and I felt like I got scammed because we had a deal. We had a deal for a certain price, and then everything changed, and a big old fucking scam. Excuse my mouth, but that's what it was. I almost think the second people worked with the first people. So it makes me not want to trust anybody. So here's this guy been trying to get me to ship my car. He said, I'll try to get a reasonable, we won't take any money until we have a secured driver. Well, they were supposed to have had a secured driver before, so I can't. I don't know who this person is. I don't know if he's a part of them. I think if I look through a bunch of my paperwork, maybe I'd find out. Because I do write things down. It's just where do I write them? Anyway. So Thursday morning. And so what I've done so far is I did do some Zumba. If any of you, even if you're in bad shape, I mean, if you feel like you need, let me change that. We all need activity, whatever shape we're in. And so what we have to do is do our best to do something. And if you can't do very much, you just do what you can. But the goal is to continue to do better. Like I said, I can't go very far. My legs won't let me go very far, but what I've got to do is build up my muscle in my legs. And that is not just exercise, that is eating. Like they used to say about Popeye with the spinach. Spinach is supposed to help you. I mean, it is supposed to be a good source of protein, I think. Okay, I guess I should look that up. All I know is spinach is supposed to be really good for you. And I should go make me a smoothie. I quit doing that, but I want to have my greens, my super greens. So even if I make a short little smoothie and I've got all the ingredients in there, then that's good. And I think something I watched yesterday said you don't need very many walnuts. Well, I don't know what that means because what I do is take a handful and put in there. And I've got them in the freezer. And I was able to get them at the store. Instead of having to order them online. I was thinking I was going to have to order online because where I had looked for nuts, it was in a little snack aisle, I guess, and it was crazy priced. I'm going, no way. I guess I won't be having any nuts, But, so I put walnuts in, and I know that's got to be a good source of protein. Plus, they might be talking about fatty acids. I don't know what that means, but essential fatty acids, maybe. Which means what? There are fatty acids that, I'm not going to say all that. Seems like they said that we make ourselves and then some that we can't make. So I don't know for sure. All I know is I am hungry. And there was a little bit of coffee left, like a quarter cup. So I took that, poured it out, and then I added coffee and water and turned it on. So I got more coffee. I don't usually drink coffee, and I've got to make sure that I'm not having a problem with her sugar, because her creamer, it's I think it's still dairy. which is okay. It's just that William Lee, Dr. William Lee, I believe, had said that dairy creamer, which would happen with half and half too. Okay, anyway, he's talking about it makes these bubbles, and it takes the thing that's good about coffee that'll help fight cancer. It takes it and shrouds it where it doesn't do you any good. I didn't say it very good, probably, but that's been my deal. I'm not supposed to really have dairy creamer if I want coffee, the benefit. But, maybe it won't be a benefit. One says drink it, the other one says not. But I do know that I can't be having a bunch of sugar with it. And her creamer that she's got is a 0 sugar, so I don't know what it's got in it. I really need to try to read that. It seems like some things they don't have to tell you. And sucralose, I believe, is a form of sugar. In other words, there's these different refining things they do to get to sugar. So like you have cane sugar. I'm not sure if that's just your first process or how they would label that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What matters is I better get with it. I better call the hospital. That's where that has to be done. But I don't know what the copay is going to be on that. I've got to find that out too. So I need the right phone number. I think I wrote a phone number down. I did. Okay. Hopefully that's the number I need. Nevertheless, it'll get me there if you wait long enough. Or you tell them, oh, yeah, you can call me back. In some ways, that's really nice. Then you don't have to sit there on the phone. What I did yesterday was I just turned on the speaker and let it play until they finally were there. And that doesn't mean I want to hear what's playing. So that's something you have to decide too. Controlling your brain and what's in there. The things they play. Give me the 60s. I went into high school in 69, so 68 and 69, what was playing then? And I'm talking about not hard rock, I'm talking about other things. I can't recall the names of those groups back then. But then the Tommy James and the Shondells, the Animals, the Turtles. I think we're alone now. The beating of my heart is the only sound. Look at the way we gotta hide what we're doing. 'Cause what would they say if they ever knew? Running just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. You put your arms around me, and we stumble through the night, and then you say, I think we're alone now. The beating of my heart It would be our hearts is the only sound. Okay, that song. I don't know which group did that song. And then that was Crimson and Clover and Sweet Cherry Wine, so very fine. Yeah, it's playing in my head, but I don't got the words. But we know that song, right? There's a bunch of people know that song, Sweet Cherry Wine. And there was a song. Where did I hear about it? Now it's long gone. Yeah, it's gone. Because it'll be hard to pull up, too. I'm too busy with Look at the Way in my head, okay? I got a song playing, interfering with my thoughts, I guess. So, Happy Together, that was one of the songs. I'm not sure who does that. So happy together. How is the weather? La 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 la. So happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. You and me and you, no matter how they something with the dice, throw the dice. It had to be the only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together. I don't know why they put that in there. How is the weather? There's got to be something else that you can put there. Okay, so I don't know anymore right now. I was trying to think of some that would be in that time frame. It would be when I was in the 9th grade. And I think I entered high school in 69. So it had to have been in 68. So, the late 60s. Then there's Motown going on back then, too. And then, yeah, when I was in New York, I got sent away. And when I was in New York, there was Three Dog Night, The Who. See, music was different. Music was different in New York compared to Salt Lake Valley. Ow. It was like entering a whole different world. And it's kind of like, when I might misspeak, but there were a lot of good bands that came out of the Seattle area back when. I want to say Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and there were some other bands that sounded just like them, but I don't know who they are. Nevertheless, I liked their persona. I don't know if that fits. I like their music, okay? And their music was different. You could definitely tell there was a difference. So that was on the West Coast. And I was in New York earlier than that, but the same thing. Different music compared to Utah. There were songs I'd never heard of. Not that that would mean anything. It doesn't mean I've heard of them all, but it was just different music. But Crimson and Clover was definitely big time in Utah, because that's where I was during that time frame. Glad we got to stay in one place. We moved around so much when I was young. But at least my high school years remained the same. But I thought I was in love way too soon and got married way too soon and ruined my high school experience, really. You guys, don't be so quick. Be patient. We have these dreams and we always think we want. Sorry. We always think we want something. And I don't know why. I think it's just we're taught that or something. You know, to grow up and get married. I know, I think several generations rebelled against that because they started waiting for a long time to get married, waiting for a long time to have children, then they find out they can't have any because they waited. That's not always the case, okay? There are different circumstances. I had a hard time getting pregnant. I had a real hard time getting pregnant. So I tried for a long, long time. So I just got a message from that guy just now when I was just talking about the one that wants to ship my car. I'm not giving any more money to anybody. I had a deal made. I paid the down payment. Was supposed to pay $500 when it got here. And then the next thing I know, that driver can't do it, and it's $1,300 or $1,800 more than what I was told. I'm going, you guys are crazy in the head. You know, right then and there, I'm not doing it. So you've already got my money, and they didn't return it. And I don't know, this guy might be, he's got a different business name, so, but they can come up with all these names. I don't know. He's got a DOT, Department of Transportation number. See, I need to go back through my stuff because I've got the number for one person, but I don't think I got it for the other. So yeah, no. Once bitten, twice shy, babe. I've been bitten more than once. So, what good thing can come out of this video? I don't know that that was such a good thing. I mean, it wasn't a bad thing. My folding of the bandana. I'm thinking, because I am thinking about that. Just don't know. Everything is so mass produced these days and so cheap. I mean, really, compared to what a person can just go out and get the material and make it and then try to sell it. No. But if you had a really neat idea, that's my iPad chiming in. In other words, I really like the idea. And what I need myself, I need a bonnet for when I go to sleep. And I don't know that it really will do any good, but they're saying like satin pillowcases or stuff that won't pull at your hair. However, it seems like satin would. So I need to figure it out. I looked up bonnets and there they are. Temu's got a bunch of them. And I like, you know, not that I want to wear a turban, but I kind of like them. I would really like just a cap. I would just like a cap that's beautiful, velvety, frilly kind of, sort of. It doesn't have to be frilly, but you know what I mean, pretty. And leave my hair hanging down. Just something to lay over this top area. Just like the guys wear their baseball caps. I have to chime in on that. It doesn't really matter what I think. But I sure don't like them. baseball caps. I can see wearing them if they protect you from the sun getting in your eyes. But I don't like what it does to your hair. I don't like that some of these caps, like one I just saw, was way tall. So here you are. You got this tall thing sitting on your head. And it's a baseball hat. Why is it so tall? So to give you more air in there? Maybe it is. But it's not attractive. Yes, baseball caps turned around. I like those much better. But even so, I just think that it does something weird to your hair. And who knows, maybe it helps you be bald. Hopefully not. But I know there's some hats. People have made some really pretty hats. Kind of like the Renaissance. Maybe that's what it is, the Renaissance. I'll have to look that up. They've got a hat and then I don't know, it seems like it's a ruffle. Not lace, just the way it's sewn. I want to say Leonardo da Vinci wore one. Let's see. My iPad's a little ways away. Pull it closer. Okay, let's do. I can't see. I want to do a search. Picture of Leonardo da Vinci. Well, he's wearing the hat I'm talking about. Except for it looks a little funky. Doesn't look like what I want. But it is exactly what I was describing, how weird. But in my head, I had a different vision of this hat. So how can I show it to you? Pick up my iPad and show you. I don't know if you can see it. That's not what I wanted. But see how I was talking about a cap on the top with a ruffled thing around the edge? So no, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. I know I keep saying that. Expression, let's see. Okay, so I want to come up here and get rid of that. Okay. Hats of the Renaissance. No, I said hats. Okay. Basically the same. So they're not what I'm talking about. Oh, get back over there. So that's what's coming up for hats of the Renaissance. I can't tell. Close but no cigar. I want something similar but soft. It doesn't stick up and stuff. It's soft. It kind of encases the head. So I don't know why they've got that rim on there. It must have some type of a meaning. I like that. Okay, I'll show you this. All right, see the girl? So she's got her long hair in that bonnet type of thing, but she's got her hair showing up at the top. But I popped up with a really good hat. That was easy to make. I had a friend once that made hats, but Renaissance hat, $85. Huh. Here's a review, and it's a 5-star. It says, I was searching for a quality, lightweight, medieval hat for the fair. Something that would protect my face from the sun, my head from burning, and yet would not be unbearably hot in May or August. Folk of the Wood came through. A beautiful design that fits well, is a lightweight linen, and provides just enough of a brim while maintaining a medieval silhouette. The craftsmanship is impeccable. Clean lines and, clean lines, comma, a liner to protect the outer appearance, and a beautiful button and feathers to provide some interest. I would definitely order from them again. And then it shows a picture. Let's see what it shows. Well, it's not really showing much of anything. I don't think you're going to be able to see it because of the shade. That's the one he ordered. He's given a picture. Interesting. I want to see it on him. No. Okay, so they're showing hats, different kinds of hats. Uptown girl, boho, hipster, undercap. Someone might be here. Interesting. I'm not really finding what I like. I wish I could find the ones like my girlfriend made. She made some real pretty ones. Medieval hat types. Okay, let's look at those. silly. Okay, I gotta quit doing that. But that's something I ought to look into. Craziness, man. I can't believe guys would wear those. Okay. But like I said, you know, baseball cap, we need something to hide the sun. Or, you know, protect our eyes. Okay, that's enough of that. So, just click on that. I get caught up, just like everybody else. Oh, next thing you know, you're scrolling for hours. It's like then I just got distracted. Okay, get off of there. So, I'll get that out of my face. That distraction. And I haven't done any particular reading, nor was I going to, but I was thinking what I need to do is just make it little brief things that I read. So what I just turned to on the page, prophecy. Prophecy. See calling and election sure. These are those things in the beginning that it tells you to go look up. Christ, gifts of spirit, Holy Ghost, prophets, revelation, vision, white horse prophecy. The inspired utterances of prophets are called prophecy. These declarations may pertain to the past, present, or future. New truths or unknown events may be revealed in them, or they may contain expressions which confirm and give added witness to truths already revealed and testified to by other prophets. In their most dramatic form, they are declarations of things to come, things which no mortal power could have made manifest. Prophecy is the announcement of something that has been revealed to a prophet. It always comes by the power of the Holy Ghost. The scriptures are recorded prophecy. Peter gave this inspired rule for their interpretation, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures is of any private interpretation. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of God spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost. 2 Peter 1:20 through 21. Prophecy is thus a gift of the Spirit. That's Doctrine and Covenants 46:22. And woe unto him, the Lord says, who denies the spirit of prophecy. That's Doctrine and Covenants 11, verse 25. Belief in and the manifestations of the spirit of prophecy are two of the great evidences of the divinity of the great latter-day work in which the saints are engaged. We believe in the gift of prophecy, seventh article of faith, and every legal administrator in the church who preaches the gospel and administers gospel ordinances must be called of God by prophecy. Fifth article of faith, meaning that the call must come by revelation from the Holy Ghost. Every member of the church acting in submission to the laws and system which the Lord has ordained is expected to have the gift of prophecy. It is by this gift that a testimony of the truth comes. Follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts, Paul exhorted, but rather that ye may prophesy. He that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification and exhortation and comfort. Let the prophets speak 2 or 3, and let the other judge. If anything be revealed to another that sitteth by, let the first hold his peace. For ye